What's up, everyone? Hope you're all doing well out there. Today, I wanted to talk to you about 3 tools that I use almost every day to improve some part of my life. Now, I want to preface this with the acknowledgement that some or all of you might find these tools obvious, particularly those of you in tech. But I know that there are some people out there for a fact that don't know about some of these tools, because I was having these conversations a couple weeks ago and some friends of mine didn't know about them. Secondly, I want to acknowledge that I'm not affiliated with any of these tools. There's no financial association, nothing. I'm just trying to share what I find to be helpful in hopes that you will find it helpful as well. So let's dig into it. The first tool is 1Password for managing all of my passwords. So some number of you, a non-zero number, are definitely storing passwords in a note-taking app or some other basic method of storing all of your passwords. So it might be in Apple Notes is pretty common that I've seen, in Notepad or text editor. Now, this is a terrible idea for several reasons. The first is security. Obviously, a big concern these days is security. Hackers always trying to get our precious, sensitive data. So when you're storing your passwords in a note-taking app, there's a couple of problems with this. One, it's stored in plain text. 2, if someone gets access to your phone, they can very easily get those passwords. Secondly, if you're doing in notes, you're probably reusing the same passwords over and over again, which is also a problem. Your banking password is the same as your Gmail passwords, the same as your password for some news apps and Netflix and so forth. Not a good idea at all. You want to change those passwords up. So 1Password makes this really easy to do. It allows you to store all your passwords, create secure passwords that are like a longer string that probably you are currently using, and have different passwords for many of your different applications with simply one click. And it makes it really convenient to do so. For example, they have browser plugins for all major browsers, Chrome, Safari, whatever you use, where when you're creating your passwords, say you're creating a password for a new app and you're on the app website, it would recognize, the plugin would recognize you're trying to create a password. It would recognize what the site was, what the URL was, what the service is, and it would say, do you want to create a password using 1Password? One click creates the password, very secure password, and stores it there. So now it's in your list of passwords in 1Password. All you have to remember is the 1Password for 1Password. You just need to remember that 1Password, and that's it. Then you've got hundreds of passwords here stored that are mostly different. They are secure. And if you ever want to access those passwords, you either open the app, find the password that you're looking for, or you can, if you're on the website, say you're on your banking site and you want to log into your banking site, it'll recognize that and say, hey, do you want to use the password from 1Password? One click and you log in. So super easy, super convenient, and a really good idea to move to these if you aren't using a password management app. Also, you can store more than just your passwords. So other sensitive data like, your social security number, social insurance number. If you have multiple of those across your family, you need to store them somewhere. Great place to store them. Second tool is TODOIST. TODOIST, T-O-D-O, To-Do-I-S-T, TODOIST. And so again, many of you might be using a note-taking app like Notion or Evernote or a text editor or whatever to make to-do items of things that you need to get done today, this week, this month. You might have some system for that, and that works fine. There's no problem with that. But I've found TODOIST, which is a purpose-built application for handling your to-do items, your action items, and organizing them all and getting all your important action items done, is really much more effective than using a basic app. Many of us have lots of things that are floating around that we need to get done from time to time or over time. And so having a purpose-built app really helps this. So in using TODOIST, I use the Getting Things Done framework, or at least some variation of it. I probably don't follow it exactly, but I've taken some ideas from it. And the basic notion of getting things done, there's a book, Getting Things Done. I'll link to all of this in the post below. But the basic idea of getting things done, framework, system, book, is that you want to get everything out of your head and into some management application or management system so that it's not floating around in your head. Because if it's floating around in your head, it's creating cognitive load, and that's not good at all. And you're just managing all this stuff in your head. So the basic premise is get all the stuff out of your head into some system. And Todoist is the system that I use to do that. So I have an inbox. So there's a list of items that go into the inbox, and that's anything coming in. So it could be action items from a meeting. It could be things that I need to get done, some chores I need to get done. It could be to call my accountant about my taxes, whatever. If it's material, it goes into this inbox list. So then from time to time, no less than once per week, I'll go to the inbox and I'll start to categorize these inbox items. Now, if something can get done in, say, less than 3 minutes, I'll do it right then and mark it off. Now, that is a tactic from the Getting Things Done framework. Anything that's longer than sort of 3, 4, 5 minutes, I will categorize it. So I categorize things with a labeling system they have. So you can create custom labels, and I have now, later, and then delegated or monitoring. So now means it's at the top of my list. I'm going to work on it this week. Later means I'm going to work on it later, probably not this week. And it might be next week. It might be a month from now. Doesn't really matter. It's just in later now. And then delegated monitoring is something that I've sort of fired off to someone else that I want to track and don't want to lose track of it. It's important to keep this simple. Anything too complex, I find that I'm not going to use it effectively, and it's just going to create more work, create more load. So from time to time, I go through and I categorize those now, next, later, and then I will work on now this week. So if I need to know, like, hey, what's out there that's kind of like at the top of my list, that's the now label. Now, in addition, there's also projects, a folder sort of project structure, child parents. So you can make something now and then like to tag the label now, and then you could also store it in the marketing project that you have for work. Or you might have marketing and then website, website redesign project. You might have all the to-dos that need to happen for that website redesign. So it can be super robust. It can be super simple. The important thing is that you make it work in a way that works for you. And that's how I do it. The third item is from the physical world. It is athletic greens, or I guess it's called AG1 now. And this is a supplement that gives me some daily nutrition that promotes like gut health and immunity and boosts energy. Got tons of vitamins, probiotics, all sorts of things that I think are good for me. This is it right here. It's a powder, and you basically stir it into a small cup of water, like 8-10 ounces. It comes with like a little jar, and drink it first thing in the morning. Now, it's super easy to do, and it doesn't taste bad. My concern was that it was going to taste shitty, and it doesn't. It tastes like sugar water, tastes perfectly fine. So makes it easy to consume. And like with any of these tools, they have to be easy or I'm not going to keep doing them, right? So that is 3 tools that I use that make life better for me. I hope that these are helpful for you. I'm going to link to everything in the post here so that you can see the URLs super easy. And if you have any tools that you think are effective for you, you want to share them, let's have it out in the comments. Let's see them. So hope this was helpful, and hope you all have a great day, and we will see you soon.